Good evening, folks. Good evening, folks. Welcome to Let's Talk, another lively and provocative. That's not a show. Let me cut it out before we get sued for copyright infringement. Yeah, so welcome to Let's Talk. And here at Let's Talk, we like to talk about issues that matter to you and try to come up with workable, practical solutions. I'm your host, Jason, with my co-host, Cheryl. Just Cheryl, awesome Cheryl. Mm-hmm. Yes. Today, our topic is why is divorce on the rise in the Bahamas?
And everywhere else, for that matter.
Not everywhere else, but we sticking. We can try to stick to the Bahamas. I mean, we might stray off, but we can try to stick. And Cheryl, I tried to get some stats because I like to be legit, right?
I'm like, you know what? I don't even have to do any research because I know Jason is going to come with his stats.
Coming legit.
Yes, let's have it.
So, but the sad thing is that our stats are way outdated. The most nearest thing I get was 2004. 2004, and they said back then, divorce rate was 25%.
Yes.
1 out of every 5 marriages ended in divorce. Now, that's 20 years ago. And I would have...
probably worse by now.
It has.
Maybe 1 out of every 3.
Probably, because Cheryl, I added to that number.
Me too. We're both statistics.
Right. Yes. So we know, and so I know that number's got to be much higher, right?
Probably higher. Yes.
1 out of every 5, and that was sad back then, right? We were scary back then, but now, boy. So, and Cheryl, I was talking, and somebody else brought something else up to me. That's not including the separations.
Oh, that is so true. That is so true.
Those marriages, those people who just stand together, because they don't want to go to pay the court, or they don't want they want people to know that they're separated,
or who are not together but just not legally
legally.
separated or divorced. So they're not. So the home is broken.
Yes,
because they're not together.
Say the marriages died long before they even reached the court. Right. So we have a lot of that out there.
Yes.
People living in the same house, but they're in separate bedrooms. They don't. They don't even interact.
Right.
But they just stand together for the mortgage.
Right. Could be financial reasons. Yes. Could be for the children.
Right.
Could be for the family. And like you say, could be pride as well.
Right.
And then because a lot of people, they care about how they're seen in the public's eye. There are people, family members, or other persons who have high expectations for their relationship.
Right.
And so, they don't want to disappoint.
Keeping up the facade.
Right.
But for argument purposes, we only talk about the ones that are actually divorced. Legally divorced.
Yes.
So that number, for argument's sake, we'll say about 40%. That might be high. No, because
let's not put a number on it since we don't have any data. We don't know,
but
yes.
According to the U.S., I think their stats were like 60%.
I didn't look at the.
I think that's what I read.
I looked at some other things, but
our esteemed callers and commenters could Google it. They say Google it and give us the facts, give us the stats, and correct us. But suffice it to say, the divorce rate is on the increase.
It's extremely high.
Extremely high.
Even at 25% is extremely high, especially for a small country like ours.
And our stats shows that we are amongst the highest per capita.
Yes, of course.
Our country is amongst the highest. I think we were in the top 10 countries for divorce.
Right, per capita, yes.
Listen, that's not good. We were ranking high for diabetes and all this bad food eating and all this stuff, overweight, obesity and stuff, and we're ranking high in divorce. Come on, man, Bahamas, we got to rank high in something positive now.
That's true. I did have that conversation with someone that, we're high achievers in a lot of negative things. Like
we're the best.
Obesity,
we're the best
crime.
at being the worst.
Yes, absolutely. We really do need to do better and not, seriously, because the family is the foundation. That's the backbone of a society.
Yes.
And the divorce plays a great part in the family, because if the parents are not together, then of course the children are affected, seriously affected.
So I put out some feelers, and I asked the question to my WhatsApp crew, family, and I got a slew of answer responses on as to why they think the the divorce rate is on the rise.
Right.
So this show may carry over into next week because, at Let's Talk, like I say, we like to talk about the issues and then we also like to come up with solutions.
Right.
So in the event we don't come up with the solutions, we don't get to reach the solutions tonight, then we'll take it over to the next show. But our intention is to not just bring the problem, but try to
Right.
bring solutions. So let's dive right into it. So one of the number one points what I got was God is being taken out. The reason why they feel the divorce is on the rise is because we don't fear God no more. God has been taken out of the marriage
Of the
home,
relationship.
Of the relationship.
But if it didn't start with God in it, then that might be a bigger problem.
True.
Because it's not. It's hard to say God is taken out if He was never in it to
That's true.
begin with.
But we are Christian.
know?
We are a Christian nation, so he's supposed to be in everything because all of us could
He's
say,
supposed to be in it, but how many of us he's really in it? Because a lot of times when we look for our spouses, we look for them and then we take them to church. We look for them. We don't include God into that in that part of the process. We look for them and then we take them to church
We don't let
for
them come
God's
to us,
approval.
right.
We don't even wait for God's approval.
No.
We say to God, well, this is who I'm bringing,
Fix it.
so fix it. Yes,
Yeah.
you make them
Make them
okay
work.
because I've already done the work.
right, so that goes to it, unequally yoked.
And then we ask him to bless it. And
Right.
of course he blesses it and it is.
Does he bless it really?
It's his job. Well, God does not want any destruction. Whatever the Bible does tell us, right? Whatever God joins together, let no man put asunder.
But
That
God might
includes
not join
you
that
as
together.
well.
God
right?
might not, you just said that he might not
No,
have been
but
in the
once
middle.
you have made that commitment, then God will honor it.
He honors it, but he
Right,
didn't
he
join
will honor it.
Because there's
once
sovereignty, there's a sovereign will.
Once you live in obedience with his will, then he will honor your union.
Really?
Yes, that's what I believe, yes.
No, Cheryl. No,
Okay, it's
no,
okay
no,
for you to
no.
disagree. I'm
no,
not
I don't
sure
think so.
I'm-
I don't think it go like that.
Oh, really?
I don't think it go like that.
Okay, well,
because if God clearly tells me,
Right.
He gives me all this, hey, Jason, don't marry that girl. She's
Well,
for the
we
streets,
never-
or,
we-
or she
that was
you
not the
get all
premise.
the signs.
That
No,
was not the
but I still
premise.
marry her. I still marry her. You say he's going to honor that? God say, no, man, Jason, you didn't listen to me. Deal with that. Handle that. Handle that.
No. There are a lot of times when we put ourselves into situations and God fixes it. He
Yes.
helps us to fix it.
Yes, he does, but he's not obligated to do it.
No one said he was, Jason. Don't put any words in my mouth. But God will fix it. He'll help us to fix it because he wants it to work. He's writing for marriages to work, for families to work, because that's what he ordained.
Yes, but he's not going to honor, I don't think he's going to honor disobedience. And you say he relishes obedience over sacrifice. So
Right.
here I am going to marry, what they call it, the uncircumcised Philistine, one of the enemies, his enemies, and I'm tying myself to that person. And you're saying, God, okay, now God, honor this, fix this. Really?
Yes, Will. Yes.
Okay, let's
Yes.
move on. Let's
Yes,
move on.
yeah,
We ain't got to be
let's-
there. We got plenty of other points to go on. If you all agree or disagree, let us join in on this conversation. Please join this conversation. Call us at 352-8255, 352-TALK. Like, share, subscribe, and join us on YouTube with the comments. I'm sure our producer will get flooded with comments tonight. I don't know if we can be able to get to them all, but we'll do our best.
Yes.
So, moving right along. Cheryl, let's...
Yes. I was
let's
looking
go on.
at while I was looking around for information, I came upon something that, the number one reason now for divorce is lack of commitment. And it was second to cruelty, domestic abuse, all of that. It came above all of those things, lack of commitment. And I was shocked by that because I haven't seen that. It's been a while since I've looked at this kind of information. But it's interesting how the fact that people are no longer committed to being people are nonchalant, I guess. That's how I would put it, about
Right.
something as serious as a commitment that was made before God and man.
Yeah, that-
Just because they no longer feel committed, it no longer serves them.
Right.
They no longer want to be in that relationship.
Mind you, I am not surprised, right? Because if you check this pulse of, if you in tune with the pulse of today's society, you would know that's where because everybody's into this YOLO. They say love
Right.
yourself, and they're being told right now. Women are being told, and that's not in Bahamian culture, but American culture.
Right.
If you're not happy, leave. There's no sense of being committed. You know, love is a feeling. Love has been regulated down to a feeling.
To a feeling, yes.
So if I don't feel good, I don't need to be here. It's not.
Right.
It's no longer commitment. You know, and that's what love is. Love is a commitment to do what's right in spite of how you feel.
Right.
And we're not being taught that. We are being taught to move on our feelings. So, hey, I don't feel she loved me. I don't feel he loved me.
Right.
So let's find somebody who does. But that was one of my points here.
But
Go
I
ahead.
think because we go, well, I can say some of us go into marriage with divorce as an option.
Yes.
And that may be one of the reasons. Some of us, we go into marriage thinking that, okay, if it doesn't work out, I could always get a divorce. And when you have divorce in the back of your mind as an option, it will become a reality.
Yes.
And I believe this is what happens. If we go into a marriage thinking, okay, I am in it for the long haul, it's going to affect your choice.
Yes.
You will definitely, if you think this is okay, I'm waiting to find this person who I want to spend the rest of my life with, definitely you will make sure that choice you make is the choice you want to make. And you wouldn't take that decision lightly. So when you go into that thinking like that, then I think it will affect your reason. And of
Yes.
course, there are good reasons sometimes for people to have divorces. You know, I think cruelty, I think domestic abuse, I think different kinds of abuse are good reasons.
That goes right back to marrying the wrong person. From the
Right.
jump street. You wasn't paying attention to the red flags.
Right.
You know, this lack of commitment, and just to go on to what you're saying, you know, the seriousness of this commitment. Society, it's a commenter said to me, it's now socially accepted to be divorced.
Yes.
Back in the day, it was
Yes,
listen to me.
it was frowned upon.
I was embarrassed
Yes.
to know that I'm getting a divorce.
Right.
You know, I was,
It is.
and that's why some people don't get it because it's still
Right.
shameful in their eyes. People from my generation, it's still shameful to get a divorce because it's a public sign to say you failed.
Exactly. I was going to say it's
You
a sign of
failed, right?
failure at one of the most important decisions you'll ever
Right,
make.
right.
So, yes.
So, but today, hey, that's accepted.
Yes.
They doing it left, right, and center.
And
Some
you
people
have
got three
people-
divorces,
three
four
divorces,
divorces.
yes.
You know, and back in the day, I used to say only the rich people can afford this bunch of divorces, right? No, so I see some poor people. God, he got three under his belt.
Because divorces are pretty inexpensive.
Yes.
And I think that should be another thing. Why is it so cheap?
Yeah, hey.
That should be. Let's make it $10,000 to get a divorce.
But it's
I
cheaper
think
to
you'll
get
have
married.
less people.
It's cheaper to get married than it is to
It's
get
more
divorced.
expensive to get married than to get a
No
divorce.
money go to the courthouse and.
Oh,
and
well, yes.
that's-
If you do it that way,
Yeah,
yes.
right.
you
Y'all
do.
is make it expensive. So anyway, that's another topic. We'll do that. Jump on that another day. So the lack of commitment and the lack of them taking it serious. They go into it for the wrong reasons. Some go into it because, hey, that was a goal.
Right.
Their goal was to be married, not to be a wife, not to be a husband. Their goal was to be married because
Yes.
that was one of the things
That's
to check
true.
off of their list.
That's
and
true.
and they didn't go into it with the seriousness of it. This commitment, now this is supposed to be a
Right.
lifelong commitment. Come hell or high water, for death till death do us part,
part.
and sickness and in health. We forget our vows. They
Right.
forgot the vows that they stood before God and they just didn't honor it.
Right.
Because there was just something to say at
Something
the time.
to say. The vows
They
were not
didn't pay
taken
attention.
seriously from the beginning.
And we probably didn't teach those of us who were older. Remember, we talked about last week,
Right.
teaching the younger. We didn't teach them how serious these vows are.
That's
we were
true.
poor at modeling examples. We didn't model the best
We
examples
were
for
never
them.
taught either.
Yeah, like you said last week, we had to teach ourselves on parenting, right?
Right.
So therefore, we should have teach ourselves on doing this right, doing
Right.
marriage the right way, because we signed up for it. We went up there all lovey-dovey and we said, yes, we're going to do this for better, for worse.
Yes.
Sickness or in health, no matter what. When he don't have no more money, when she ain't looking the sexiest as she is no more, we can stick it out. Man, she get me mad.
Yes.
I don't care what. I can forgive her.
Yes.
Oh, that's another thing. We don't unforgiveness. But it's so much. This is so deep. But we have to take a commercial break and we'll come right back. So guys, join us on this conversation. We'll be glad to hear from you. We'll be right back.
Where you going, mate?
To go buy these tickets for the party tonight.
Why this boy so dumb?
Tickets242.com.
You know how hard it is?
They sell tickets for parties, concerts, plays, sporting events, everything.
You know how expensive bus is?
Well, if you just buy the tickets online, they could just send you it in the email. Then you could just print it off.
You know how strong mosquitoes is?
Or you could go to the box office downtown at the Genesis Street Gale.
You ain't scared of June Says
Text messages that's on our YouTube chat. So, Mr. Producer, can we hear that, please?
Yes, you can. The first comment we have for the night is, because marriage is not honorable anymore in the sight of wives and husbands. This is why
that's why
people do. Marriage is not taken seriously. A lot of people get married for the wrong reasons. Some just for the ceremony, some for security. Either never ends well. She's responding to that commenter. You're right. Only the pictures and the ceremony, but they don't invest in the marriage. Wow.
Yep. Yep.
No, Jason, he honors the decision that you made. She's talking about when you go and marry a Philistine.
Yeah.
A lot of people engage in marriage feeling like it's the right thing to do. After being in a relationship with people, dating, based on the tradition without actually getting to know these people. Because it's a covenant, you should choose to marry who he told you not to marry. I don't know why. Yes, it's your free will. Just like Joshua, he said he has never broken a covenant and he will not start.
Okay. I think we probably should have responded if you wanted to respond, because that's a mouthful. That's a lot.
Yeah.
One after the other.
That husband or wife that you marry against God's will be a thorn in your side. His grace will be sufficient. Wow. Now, I'm not against divorce being inexpensive. Some people do have good reasons. And the last one, the reality is God didn't sanction a lot of these marriages. The many warning and stop signs were there. But when you choose to ignore them and operate in the flesh, divorce is inevitable.
Correct. I think it should be clear. I don't think, when I say God obligated, I don't think he's going to make sure, do all he can to say, okay, make sure this marriage succeed. He'll, like the commenter said, he'll give you the grace to endure, but that marriage will be hell. So I don't think he'll be
Not
there blessing that.
necessarily. I do not agree with that.
Sharon,
I do not agree with that.
This ain't making sense to me. This ain't making sense to me.
It's just like,
Go ahead.
you're saying, okay, it's just like, we draw an example. God wants us to have children in wedlock. You have a child out of wedlock. That doesn't mean you're going to be a terrible parent or that's going to be a terrible child. You understand what I'm saying? So just because we make a mistake doesn't mean that God is going to take his hands off and you are definitely going to fail.
No. Okay, he helps you to an extent, but like how he blesses marriages, right? I don't think, because that's going against his will. So you're telling me now, if I am doing something against God's will, he's going to bless it? That's what you're telling me?
I'm telling you that you could step out of God's will,
I
and
see.
God still
Will bless that thing you do all
God
as well.
still will. Marriage is an institution created
Right,
by
by
God,
God, right.
ordained by God,
Right.
blessed by God, and God will make sure that, because what's coming out of marriage, the family is coming out of that. Usually, and that's the foundation. So why wouldn't God bless that?
It's because Hitler's
A lot
come
of
out of
times-
Hitler's come out of families. Jeffrey Dahmer's come out of families.
A lot of-
all these people come out of families too. Come
Anyway.
on. Come on. Not all of that from God. See,
I think
Go ahead. But we're making it about what's
Yes,
coming from
let's-
God.
I
so
agree.
Let's get back on.
I
Let's
agree
get
with
back
a
on.
lot of us do not take marriage
Yeah.
seriously at the beginning. And I think too it's a lot of times it's because we marry because we think we're in love.
Yeah.
And that should not
Feelings.
be the reason, out of feelings. I think this is a decision that needs to be made with wisdom, with common sense, with all of your eyes open. And I think we talked about it in the past when we feel we're in love, that we're blinded by certain things. We don't want to see certain things. And by the time that wears off, that's when things are being uncovered for us.
You know,
We don't take advice from people who are seeing what we're not seeing. And all of that adds to the situation.
this comment says, who determines that the person you married was not God's will for your life? I think you would see that, you would know that if you're paying attention. Because he gives us some guidelines on who to choose and how to choose.
Yes.
Who to choose. He speaks.
Yes.
If we're in his will and we're listening to his voice, we'd know if that person was for us or if that person is for us or not.
If a woman wants to know who some of the guidelines as to look at when God put Adam in the garden, he gave him a job. He made sure Adam had a relationship with him, and he gave him certain instructions. So a man, he has to have a job. He has to be close to God. God has to be in his life. Those are two main things.
Right.
And the next thing, he has to be a support. He has to show that he is going to support and love his wife, just as God would have instructed Adam in the garden. If the man wants to know, look at Proverbs 31. That's the woman that you ought to look for. And those things should help us to determine who to look for.
Correct.
And then
So-
there's always people around you who you can look for advice. You go to your grandmother.
Right.
Take the people to someone who's older, who is in your life, and
But do
trust
we
me,
even wanna
they
hear
will.
them? Because
They
we
will
in
tell
feelings,
you.
Because we in our feelings, Cheryl.
Yes,
We
that's
don't
true.
want.
We
We
don't want to
keep them
know.
for honor because we already know
That's
in our
true.
minds that ain't the right person.
That's
so
true.
we doing just like we say. We take God. God then tell us this ain't the right person. He then cheat
Yes.
on me. He then beat me. She then cheat on me. And she's constantly doing that. He's constantly
Right.
showing these things. He don't want to work. He's constantly living off of me. You know, she then had a baby on me.
Yeah.
God, you didn't see all of these things.
Yes.
Oh, but they could change. God could change.
God
I
could
go on
change
my
them.
knees and I go fast and pray and God change. Then we get married and the person's still the same.
Yes.
Now we'll say, well, God, this woman you give me, this man you give me, God, I thought you say marriage, and all this stuff, right? But God say, hold on, I never sanctioned you to
Right.
to tie, to give your cloak to this person.
Right.
I never, you say, be careful who you lend a cloak to because whatever fall on them can fall on you. So
Absolutely.
you're signing up for a lifetime of hardship, right? Hard labor. She also went on to say, this one time I agree with your co-host, Jason. You are wrong. She mean me. I wrong. The person
Really?
may not
Jason's
be
wrong
God's
every week.
choice for you, but marriage is honorable. Yes, marriage is honorable, but if the person ain't honoring the marriage, anyway, God gonna have to clear this one up for me because I ain't going on your
Yes,
run
God,
tonight.
help him.
Help me on this one. I always
No,
willing
but
to
I'm
learn.
not saying
I
though.
always willing to learn.
I'm not saying too though that you will always see. Sometimes the person comes off perfect. They're in church
And
because
that
you
one
do
there-
have you
Yeah,
do
and
have
that one there I'm
sometimes
not
they
talking
look
about.
they look. Pardon.
And that I'm not talking. But see, God still God knows that person is fake.
Right.
And if you in tune with Him, you can know. But
No,
not
there are
everybody's
times-
Christian. Not everybody walking with
Like,
God.
exactly.
So they ain't
Sometimes
gonna know.
I'm saying sometimes we can legitimately get it wrong. I'm just
Yeah.
saying, not every
Legitimately?
situation. Sometimes you can get it wrong. But the
Yeah.
important thing is to do your best to make sure that you are getting it right. And we are failing at that in so many ways. And I know many situations. But
So
Moving
yeah.
on.
So you have a.
anyway,
So you have So okay. Next one. So we talked about out of God's will, but not everybody's Christian.
Right.
So their marriage still failing. They say, a guy told me today, say that, hold on, well, you can't say God's will, out of God's will because you got people who, none of them believe in God and their marriage is still thriving.
Right.
Okay, you should be serving the same God then. Let me put it that. You have to be on the same page.
well, they're equally yoked.
Right, so be equally
Right,
yoked.
right.
So, but for
But
us,
I do
for
have
us, it's the God of the Bible.
Of course,
Go
yes. But I have a message here that says that I think a lot of men don't know what a husband is.
True.
And that is true. A lot of
You know, I said, and this was directed at wives and husbands.
Mm-hmm.
For a wife, a man should look for somebody who wants to be a wife, not just
Right.
his wife. That means she comes ready in
Right.
wife mode, not
Right.
she's turning into wife when she get married. And the same thing goes
Absolutely.
for
I think
husband.
we talked about that before too,
Right.
right? And what is that?
Look for a man that's already in husband mode.
What is that?
Protecting, no, first priest. 'cause,
Providing, priest,
priestly,
provider, and protector,
Provider,
yes.
protector. And he has to already be doing these things.
Right.
Look to see who he's supporting before he comes to you.
But he's so handsome though.
Oh yeah, hey, and he got such good swag, right?
Yeah.
And he smell good. He tall,
And
dark,
one out of
handsome.
three ain't bad.
And he can make pretty children.
Yes.
Yeah, and he can make some stress with that children too. He can make pretty
Yes,
children
but,
elsewhere too.
but yeah, we might be clowning around, but you know, it is true, and the same thing goes for guys.
Yeah.
she's good looking,
She throw that
you
thing
know,
down in
she
the bed.
right,
Got him hooked.
and exactly, and the rest is history. You don't have to know how to do any of those other things, and then after the marriage, he complains because
Yeah.
that now
She ain't cooking.
he's had enough of the bed and he's had enough of everything
He
else,
need to
and
eat
wants
food now. He gotta eat
exactly.
some food now because
Right.
the bedroom can't cut it. That don't put energy. In fact, that's take energy out of him.
Mm-hmm.
So you need more than that. Tell her go cook, and she ain't into that.
Okay.
The
Yes.
house stay dirty, and he complaining, but no, bro, you ain't do your job before. So don't complain about it now.
Right.
Same
That's
thing with the
true.
girls. You didn't see this fella ain't take care of the first 3 kids he had
Exactly.
because you gonna get married to him now. You can change him and pray to God, and he can change it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. No.
And then we don't like to ask the tough questions
Yeah.
because if somebody is, I think it should be okay to talk about the relationships that the person would have had in the past. If you are serious about someone, you should ask the tough questions. If why are you divorced? What didn't work in your first marriage? If you have children, why are you taking care of your children?
Right.
What's your relationship with your kids' mom? All of these are questions that should
Ask the
help
questions.
us to kind of get an idea as who the person is.
But we don't want to see that, Cheryl.
Yes.
We like to live in Instagram world. We want to post the TikToks and what are marriage goals.
Right.
We want to live for the ground. We want to
Yes.
look like that. We want people to idolize us. So we ain't gonna see that. You know.
We don't want to go into anything that doesn't give us that happy feeling, I
Right.
guess.
We're all surface. We don't want to go deep. So another thing that causes, one of the things that probably has divorce on the rise, I have here as finance. The lack of it causes stress on a couple. Loss of employment. You know, when COVID and Dorian hit, a lot of people lost their jobs.
Yes.
Men weren't able to provide how they were able, what
Right.
they're accustomed to. And some of these families were dependent on these men.
Right.
The money gone, what do you say, don't love me no more, not the money gone.
It's true.
A lot of family, them couldn't deal with that stress.
That's true.
The
But
unemployment.
divorce went up during COVID, and that money was not the only issue.
We can get to that
There was
issue,
a
I know.
lot of- they
So-
issued
so, but-
24 hours.
Anyway,
For 24 hours.
Loss of employment, bad money management. You know, the guy he has bad extracurricular activities. He's taking the money, gambling, smoking, drinking,
Mm-hmm. But you knew
partying.
this before, though.
Yeah, but we didn't know. Anyway, so finance, and then
Yes.
or
It is-
she's overspending, living above means.
Right.
She wants this guy to provide the lifestyle that she see on the Housewives of Atlanta or
Right.
Basketball Wives. So she now stressing this guy out to bring this money in. He can't bring it in. Here's Joe Blow over there, Smooth, Mr. Smooth, who got all the bucks. Hey, you putting up with this guy. Man, I'll have you driving that old Toyota Corolla. Man, let me
Right.
put you in a Benz. So, hey, why stick with this fella?
Right.
Time to upgrade. So she get this divorce because of that. You know, so lack of, finances, they said, is another main cause of divorce, the rise in divorce. You are-
And I do agree too, because the woman expects the man to provide, even if she can provide for herself. I find provision is a part of that, and a lot of women, they become disappointed or disillusioned when in the marriage they're expected to either come up with half or pull their own weight, or sometimes they have to carry so much of it, and it becomes emotionally too much for the female, because they have to do so much. And I'm not sure if this might not be the only reason, but this is one of the reasons why 70% of all divorces are initiated by women.
Oh,
And I
you
think
sound like
women
you got
have
one of my
become
stats.
we have become so intolerant, and I don't think that's a good thing, because
Right.
a lot of things we make emotional decisions, And I don't think we take enough time to spend on, I guess, trying to figure out the emotional health of our relationships. But when we come back, we'll talk a lot more about that. We're going to take a commercial break.
Be right back.
I'm Flynn Doxson from Nose Witness News, reporting live from Sniper Paintball City. We're here with the manager, and he's going to tell us a little about what they have to offer.
Daddy, I got this at Sniper Paintball. We have paintball, cornhole, mini golf, batting cage.
Strike!
That's not a strike.
So come on down every Saturday and Sunday to Sniper Paintball City, located next to Crosstown, where you and the family can have a great time.
See you at Sniper.
So we're back from the break, and before we allow the producer to go into the commenters, because I hear the chat is on fire, right? Sharon made us. She said a statistic there. She touched on one of my points, right? Said that 70% of the divorces are initiated by women, and that led right into one of my points, because it's like I said, it's now socially acceptable. Women are being told, if you are unhappy, just give up and find somebody that makes you happy.
Yes.
And that's the narrative that's being pushed out there.
Right.
Women, it's all about y'all. Just be happiness. It don't matter what he like, what he want. If you ain't happy, leave. Don't and just go get yourself fulfilled. Don't worry
No,
about nobody
because
else.
studies show that men are more willing to stay in a relationship even if they're not happy.
Yes.
Men are more
We can
willing
work
to
through it.
stay, and the woman would be the one to move because
OG. You hot. You can take the card. Welcome to Let's Talk Caller. You are live. Welcome to the fire.
What's up, Jason? Hi, Cheryl. How you guys
What's going on,
we're
PK?
good.
Yeah, I thought Cheryl made a great point. She mentioned the word intolerance. I
Yes.
think that's a fundamental issue when it comes to longevity of marriages. When you graduate high school, our diploma doesn't measure our intellect. It measures our discipline. And it's the same thing with marriages. If you make it to the end of your life married, that's not a measurement of your romance, your skills, or anything like that. That's a measurement of your commitment.
Yes.
That's a measurement of your commitment. And this is a race of endurance. And just being able to tolerate changes in life and putting up with disappointment, I think that's a sign of maturity. And that's what's really, really, really lacking. And that ain't even a skill, that's it.
Yes.
So that's all I wanted to plug in there.
Thank you so much. We appreciate that. That's a meat.
Very happy here. All right.
So,
Wow. And that's the thing, commitment.
Commitment.
We're not
Committed.
very committed. We're not and we talk about this generation, the Gen Zs, and I know we laugh about it a lot, even in the workplace when we talk about workplace personalities and how those persons, they'll quit a job in a heartbeat because they are very confident and they feel like they could just get another job.
Yeah.
But the quitting mentality as it relates to a lot of things, and that's what we apply to a relationship, like
Yes.
you would have said, oh, we could just get another one. We could
Right.
just find someone else
Yes.
to make us happy. But commitment is a very important
seriously
thing. And
lacking. It's lacking.
yeah, definitely.
All right, Mr. Producer, offload that chat line.
Our first comment is marriages are failing because men are not leading in the household. A
Big
lot,
face and breathe hard.
a lot of the marriages in the Bible times were not based on love.
True.
And you want to comment on that before?
I would have commented on the
instead-
first one.
Okay,
as well.
let's comment on the first one, and we'll just go back and forth because, yes, before you read anymore, go ahead.
The first one, and I would agree with the caller. I mean, the commenter that men aren't leading,
Right.
but also men can't lead those who won't follow.
Stop
You have to
making up
give-
excuses if men aren't leading, Jason. Men aren't leading.
Listen, you got to be balanced. If I could say yes, men aren't leading, you could say women aren't following. It ain't gonna take nothing off you, You could say it.
What did the comment say? That's all. That's
So-
all I
so-
wanted. I just
so-
what did the comments say? Can you read that again, please?
Marriage is a failing because men
Because
are
men are
leading.
leading. That's all. Let's not
And-
look at the
and-
reasons or whatever. Let's just look at the fact that
What are we going to lead?
that
What are we going to lead?
first, you know what they need to lead? Themselves.
Oh, you're supposed to say that
Men
before you marry
need
him.
to lead themselves 1st and I think that is definitely a prerequisite for marriage.
Yes.
You need to watch a man lead himself.
Yes.
Because if he can't lead himself, he surely can't lead you. And the second comment that talks about love, they're right, because if you look at the stats, the countries that have arranged marriages,
yes.
they have the lowest divorce
Yes.
rates.
We're supposed to
Because
be
we believe that love is the foundation of marriage, but it's a commitment to commitment.
Yes, commitment,
And just like
discipline.
Pastor, you have to, exactly, you have to
Discipline.
be disciplined to be committed, even when you don't feel
Feel
the
like it.
love, you don't
That's it.
feel the
That's
whatever,
it.
you have to be committed. And so I definitely agree
That's why I said we regulate
with
love.
both, with
We
both.
agree to both, yeah. Well, that's why I can just add to it. I could agree in part. So go
so-
continue on.
Sometimes our dire circumstances are the sum of our own bad choices. We know these people are not right for us after signs were shown, but we allow ourselves to be blinded by infatuation.
Yes, because we want them.
Yeah.
We can go against the grain, and then we can say, Lord, this is the one for me. Lord say, no, I ain't said no one. You know?
But I'm happy now.
Yeah, I happy now. They
Yes.
doing all the right things now.
Right.
So I have my feelings now. So I'm
Right.
allowing my feelings
Right.
to dictate my life choices. You know, and then now that your feelings out of the window, and you seeing this person for who they really are, like you said, alluded to with COVID, you know, you can
Yes.
spend the time with the person now.
Yes.
You see
Locked
the real
up for
person who
24
married, you
hours
say,
a
hold
day.
on.
Like, yes.
Hold on, I can see the real person. Hold on. He's leaving shoes over there. He's chewing his mouth open. What? That's how she's clean? What? Hold on.
Yes.
Wait a minute. I didn't sign up for that.
But yes. But
So-
you've been living together for years. But how have you ever had to spend 24 hours together for
The
a
real
whole
person.
month or 2 months without
Yeah.
leaving that person's side?
and
is
a commenter said
maybe that should be a prerequisite for marriage.
Yes, a commenter said, you know, we date, because we talked about dating before.
Right.
We date wrong.
Yes.
So in dating, we didn't get to know the person.
Right.
To know if we even like the person
That's true.
before we fall in love with them.
Yes.
We fall in love with this feeling. So when the love
Or
then
an
gone, we don't
idea.
hold on. I don't even like him.
Yes.
So what else do you have in common? So hey, commenter, Mr. Producer.
Many divorces are also the result of not being on the same page, especially financially. One person is terrible at money management and the other is prudent. This can create struggles.
Yes. You know, that's why you say you have to be, that goes to unequally yoked. That can lead into unequally
Yes.
yoked. You have to have things in common. You have to have a common goal. Do I want my kids to go to private school? Do I want them to go to public school?
Yes.
Do I want to have them homeschool? Do I love in-laws in my space? I don't
Yes.
want nothing to do
You
with
have
them.
to talk about
So you have
all
to talk
those
about these
things.
things.
Exactly.
Do I want children?
Exactly.
Do
Yes.
we just want to travel with? When do we want to start our family?
Yes.
So you have to have these conversations. You
Yes.
didn't have them before marriage. So now you're having them during marriage and you realize, hey, we don't have
We
nothing in
don't,
common.
yes,
The
we
only
don't,
thing we
yes.
had in common is we like to drink and we like to sex. Now, sex losing its appeal. Your doctor tell you can't drink no more, so you're sober. So now you're seeing the person who walk across from you, like, wait a minute. That ain't the same person I was seeing when I was drunk. so reality kicking in now.
Yes.
So, all right, Mr. Producer, let's go.
Women rights and equality destroyed marriages. There can only be one person leading.
I agree.
One
you
leader.
want to?
Yes,
Yes.
I agree.
Now,
Listen.
now you can jump on that.
No,
Jason.
see, today, this movement, it's saying men aren't necessary. Women could do everything by themselves, and we don't need a man for nothing, and we could do everything. And they're taking that mindset
Right.
into the home, and they feel that they should lead. Now, in some cases, the women were leading all their lives because of circumstances, whatever
yes.
reason. So when they
Yes.
come into this marriage, they don't know how to fall back
Right.
and allow the man to lead. Because the man can only lead if the woman allows him to lead. That's not leading if you got to force it. That's dictatorship. Okay? We could agree with that, right? So a man can only lead if the woman allows him to lead. But the woman don't want to do that because she's been doing it all her life. And ain't no man telling her what to do. Ain't no man can tell her how to spend her money. Ain't no man can tell her when to go and or to come. This my money. This my house. They my children. So the man is like, see, I can't be a man in that situation. I ain't got no respect.
Well, it's back to who you chose.
She chose him and he chose
yes,
her.
exactly. And that's back to
And he
dating
should've seen
because
that.
a lot of times you can see that person from the beginning. So
Yes.
you have to determine, is this something I can deal with? Because some men don't mind a female being strong or taking on, helping him with whatever roles they are in the homes, as long as it brings you peace in
Yeah.
your relationship. But some people take it on, they feel, okay, I can tame her. Or
Yes.
the woman, whatever she decides, she doesn't mind taking care of a man. She may make enough money for both of them, whatever the reason is. And then because it is not normal,
Right,
it's not
goes
normal
against
for the woman
God's
to be the
design.
provider in the home. It's
Right.
not normal for the woman to be the leader in the home. Because that is abnormal, then things
Right,
happen.
things have to go straight.
But then, like you said, from the jump too, you have to. God has to be in it.
Yeah. See, and this mindset that's being pushed today is that women be in charge. We need to lead. And they feel, some of them feel because if they make more money than their husband,
Right.
they're in charge now. Money don't make you lead.
No.
Respect the office.
Okay.
Welcome to Let's Talk, caller. You're live.
What's happening?
Hey, Vito, what's popping, kid?
Well, you know, but you know, I go over the show. I got tired of watching it again. Look at, I love it. Cheryl, what's happening?
I'm good.
And Cheryl, Jason ain't gonna beat up on you in the show.
Not today.
Look at, I mean, that corner with the equal rights and equality and all that.
Oh boy.
They're right, but they're still wrong. Let me show you why they're wrong, because, like we talked, did we say the other day, Jason? Too much soft men.
Right.
You understand? Now, our job is always to provide, you know. God tells we supposed to provide. We supposed to secure women. We ain't, listen, women always can try to get on something or whatever, but you have to be a strong man. I say a belligerent idiot, but you have to be a strong man to develop a soft woman. You have to show them, listen, baby, I got this. Don't worry about it. I got it. You ain't got to be equal. Equal for what? I don't know where dudes get this thing today that, oh, the woman got to be 50-50. I got to pay half his money. She got to pay half it. The woman got to pay. No. Your money's supposed to go to making sure the home right, making sure your marriage secure, your woman and your kids good. These dudes, them, with this 50-50, you all know they're taking that other half of their money. They're taking that to the bar. They're taking that to the sweetheart. Women got to stand their ground. They got to start saying, listen, you got to make sure the money coming home. And that taking care of home. You understand what I'm saying? Have to secure, make a woman so secure where she can say, you know what? Yeah, I've been damaged, but this man make me feel so soft. He allow me to be soft and secure. Too much soft men in this world, and they run with that. They look for them too. So you want 50-50? Okay. No, man, you got to be man. You got to man up. Too much of these dudes nowadays, but they soft. You understand what I'm saying? So your marriage can be damaged. Even with that 50-50, that don't work. I can be honest with you. That woman, she better have some resentment, because she got to be like, hold on now. And you won't stop to use mine. You won't be dictating, but I doing half of the stuff. Sometimes you find in these cases, most women doing most of the stuff. I mean, you check, like they say, these men are talking money problem. But listen, ain't nobody in Freeport have a problem. Nobody in Freeport have a problem.
You ain't lying.
so true.
You ain't lying.
The bar, and they videos are going to Freeport. No bar, no club, no number house have a problem in Freeport, and majority men case the places. Are you right or you wrong?
Well, I don't frequent them places, so I wouldn't know.
No,
Cheryl might can tell me.
Oh dear.
No, I ain't just being real. So at the end of the day, men gotta step up. Like, go and put you when you read the fruit, and I don't say that woman. No, go and say no. Oh boy, you was the man. I
Exactly.
coming at you. And then when you put it, he said, listen, you can provide. You understand what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man gotta step the game up.
Most definitely.
Soft man, sassy man, seasoning. That ain't working. We developing soft men nowadays with the same situation. I'm ready to do that. I continue watching.
All right,
Yes,
Vito,
yes.
thanks for your input, bro. Appreciate it.
Yes. Oh boy.
Cheryl, what you got to say? Because he was riding right with you on that. I know you love that.
Oh yes, definitely. I agree with everything. I endorse that message.
So where
I
these soft
endorse
men
that
coming from?
message. Pardon me?
Where the soft man
Oh
coming
boy,
from?
is Jason gonna find a way to blame a woman?
Oh,
Do you have
I
a
can
message?
definitely.
Mr.
Because men
Producer,
ain't there. Because y'all done said the men ain't in the
read
house.
the next
so only the
message,
women,
please.
only the women raising them. So come on, let's go.
doesn't matter who raised
Let's
them.
go.
You're a man,
Yeah, no, we got to find a way
Be
to
a
teach them to be
man.
man. Yeah, for real.
and who you need to teach.
I
them
say
how to be a
we
man,
have to
yes.
find a way.
No, only a man could raise a man. So you handle that.
Next show, we can address that.
Okay.
Our next commenter, the notion that marriages are failing because men are not leading is an overused, pass the buck narrative. Also, with arranged marriages, each person is aware of their role in the relationship. Women used to be submissive back in the day. Now they challenging every decision
Everything.
the man make. It's beyond that.
Wait, do we want to take a break to
Do I?
respond to that?
That's
Jason,
self-explanatory.
Oh, it is.
I thought you might want to say that ain't no truth.
No,
But
I'm
it's-
not, I
it's
don't
truth.
have anything to say. It's one thing about me now. I'm going to accept the truth when I hear it. I'm not going to argue with the truth, as my good co-host.
Wow.
Won't call any names.
Wow.
But
New
yes,
year, new things.
we definitely can be a lot more submissive.
Yeah.
But I think though one of our main problems is the fact that we don't check on our relationship health and get the necessary help that we need in time. And I know a lot of times most males don't like to go to marriage counseling. And that is something that is prevalent. Usually a woman knows when things are off. Sometimes the guy knows when things are off. Most times he feels like it's going to right itself. But marriage counseling is something important, and sometimes it's not even when you get into problems that you need to get the help. Sometimes you just need to it's just like I do a
up.
physical every
Check
year.
up, that's right.
I do a physical every year, entire full body physical, not because something is wrong, just for maintenance.
Right.
And so we need to do things to maintain our relationships. And a lot of times we only try to fix problems.
Right.
But we have to foresee things and get the help.
That's right. That's right. I agree with you, Cheryl. We got more comments. Okay, so like, go ahead. Tell you this could be a part two.
It's beyond that. Some women don't want to be led. They just want the benefits of a said leader, provisions, and someone to take the blame when things fail.
Ah, yes. I'll touch on it. That's the fact. That's the fact right there. Where they say they want the glory, but they don't want the story. They want the finished product. They don't want
The work.
They don't want the work. They don't want to put in the work.
Yes.
So and they want the benefits of a husband,
Right.
but they don't want the responsibilities of it.
Yes.
So they want this good man who can lead,
Right.
but don't tell me what to do.
Right.
I want this man who can provide, but hey, I also want my stuff.
Right.
You have Vito say, man's supposed to provide? No. Man and woman supposed to provide. You know why? The two shall become one. When I say provide, they're talking about that money. There's no separation. There shouldn't be no separation. They supposed to be one. What's yours is mine. What's mine is yours. It ain't his own, and he paid the mortgage, and he paid this, and he paid that, and what left? Then I can step in.
The man
It's
should provide.
It's supposed to be, and that's what he's
Yes.
providing you with a plan
The man
and a
should-
budget.
the man
and
should
the budget
provide.
means, hey, bring our money. This ours. This ours.
Period.
Because if the light go off, all us can be in darkness, right? If the mortgage don't pay, all us going outside, right? See, marriage supposed to be 100-100. Vito, I agree with you with this 50-50 garbage. Marriage is supposed to be 100-100, which where both spouses giving
As
100%
God ordained, the man
all
should
the
provide
time.
for his
So
family.
when my 100 falls short, she could come up with my.
The woman should be able to quit a job any day she wants, and the house is the man provides. She's going to be a homemaker, and I think every man should be able to say that. Okay, if my wife doesn't want to work, she doesn't have to work. She can stay home and take care of the home.
Guess what?
And-
Surprisingly, I
and-
agree with that, but Cheryl, guess what?
Yes.
Do we teach that before they get married, or y'all won't come with your bunch of bills
Oh,
and then I
wait,
pay them
why is
off?
this-
No, see, you
I
can
thought
stay
you agreed
home.
with me now
You
it's
can
your
stay
thing.
home, wife, but don't come with no bills. Come debt free. Come debt free. And
Okay.
if you incur any bills, you're gonna incur it while you're under my roof.
Yeah, okay.
But don't come here with your school payments and your bunch of child payments and your and whatever bills. Whatever bills you incurred
There's
before
some
the
people-
marriage, wait, before the marriage, don't come with those and then expect me to pay them off and say, use the provider, and then we'll throw that in my face. If that's what you're going to say, a man's supposed to provide. Okay, let's go on what a woman's supposed to do. Let's, I agree with you. Man's supposed to provide, protect, and provide security, stability, love, emotional, all of that.
Yes.
The woman, support, respect.
Yes.
No back talking, no challenging for everything. Yes.
Oh, Lord.
Offer your
Were you talking about your children or
opinions.
your wife?
See? No, see, you ain't nothing to say. You ain't mind being my child when I taking care of you.
So-
You don't mind me taking care of you like a daddy, like your daddy
The
used to
man
do.
should
But now when I start to
provide,
say, okay,
Protect.
come. When your daddy protect you, when your husband protect you like a daddy, when he provide for you like how your daddy used to do, when he do all these things your daddy, you ain't got no problem saying, oh, I ain't your child, or you ain't got no problem. No,
No,
you
you
don't have no
said
problem with that.
back-talking.
But when
I
he's
can't relate to
when I say
back-talking.
challenging.
Two adults.
Okay, when I say
It's
challenging
not
him on
back-talking,
everything.
two adults having a conversation.
A husband will respect his wife's
What
opinion.
world is that?
He'll respect his wife's opinion.
Of
Only a
course.
fool will cast aside wise counsel. He's supposed to respect her opinion. He's supposed to go to her, honey, this is what I want to do. He ain't never supposed to make no decisions in isolation. He's not no king.
Absolutely.
Right? Maybe he might be the king, but she's the queen.
Right.
He's supposed to consult her. But at the end of the day, if he says, baby, I hear what you're saying, but this is where we're going. She's supposed to be like, okay, honey, I hear you. Because he allowed her to express herself. Now she's supposed to just fall into your role and support. Even if he can fall, let him go. And then he's supposed to be the man. If he falls and say, baby, I was wrong, you was right, now let's do it your way. That's what she's supposed to do. That's what a woman's supposed to do, not challenge everything. See, and that's what they call them saying. They want a man to lead, but they don't want to follow. Y'all won't follow
There
when
are
it's
different
convenient
ways.
for y'all.
There are different ways to follow. You can have relationships with
Let me hear.
you. There are different ways to
To follow.
follow. There are
Yes,
many.
go ahead.
Now, different people have different issues in their relationship. I'm sure that's not the issue in all relationships,
Right.
where the woman doesn't want to follow because she's challenging the man. I'm not sure how many men have that's the main issue in their relationship.
You remember us having this topic about respect? That's it right there. She doesn't respect his word, and she has to challenge him. A lot of men have that problem.
And you think that's a reason for divorce?
Oh, no, it can lead. Men, like you said, men can stick and work through that unhappiness. But that leads to it. She don't respect me. Let me go find somebody who does. He ain't gonna leave her now. He ain't get no divorce. He just can go to Susie over here to Susie, giving him the respect and making him feel like a man.
Right.
Which leads to divorce, because when she finds out,
Right. It's
She ain't-
infidelity,
she ain't
and
remember-
she'll have grounds for
yeah,
divorce.
she ain't gonna remember how she was disrespecting
Right.
him. All I do for him, she ain't gonna remember all that back talking and that yapping when she's doing to him. All she's know now, he over there being a dog, which he is, because he should have never do it.
Right.
But she ain't gonna remember what she did to add to it. So that's my soapbox moment. Let's get
Okay.
back.
I guess it all goes back to making wise choices and getting to know the
Yes,
person
yes.
before. So you know who you have and what you can deal with. And making the right choice with your brain.
Yes, with your brain. That's when this one
With
time
your brain
when
and not
Steve
your
Harvey-
heart.
With Steve Harvey say, think like a man. That's one
Yeah.
time I can quote that guy. That was
Okay.
think like a man at that point. Stop making decisions with your heart. Use your head. Go ahead, Mr. Producer.
The caller was wrong
Ooh.
on a lot of what he was saying,
I think we're
actually.
talking about Vito.
Yes.
Yes, no. I know somebody's going to go get
Yes.
him.
Yes. Thank you. It's been overused rhetoric, always blaming the men for not stepping up. When there is enough blame to go around, both have a role to play and both fail.
Agreed. Man bad, woman bad. 6.5 dozen, same thing.
Finance is at the top. From I got married in 1995, I then said to myself, I will never allow my family to be in a financial bind. I would live in a trailer first.
Your wife can live in there with him, or he can go live there.
Boy, she ain't living with him. But here's
He's
the
Mando. He's Mando. He's good man. Right, Cheryl?
Yes,
He
I
can
think
go live in the trailer
so.
and make sure she's living in
And
the
trust me, and that woman will go in the trailer and live in the
Yes, she
trailer with
committed,
him.
which is what we
Exactly.
need, commitment. I
She'll
agree
go
with
and
you.
live in the trailer with him
I agree
because
with
she
you.
sees his effort that he's doing
Yes.
whatever it takes to provide
Yes.
for her and her family.
We got some real women out there, I agree with you, Cheryl. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Bahamian society tends to always focus on men presenting themselves as a high value man, stepping up, but hardly speak on the women presenting themselves as worthy of that standard.
That's word. That's word. That's word. Cheryl, you can agree with that. You can agree with that, eh?
Well, I mean, nowadays, for the last maybe couple of years, you hear that often, this whole high-valued man thing. And the whole concept of a high-valued man is just a man who makes a certain amount of money. Because money is what gives man their value. Right?
Yeah, and
but I don't agree with that, because that's not a godly principle.
No, it isn't.
Based on God's standard.
Principles, yes, God's principles.
Yeah, the man's ability to spiritually lead his home, that's what gives him value.
Right.
His ability to provide, yes. His ability to protect and care for his family, that's what gives him value. But I do agree with the second part that a lot of focus has not been placed on. But I think in most cases, we talk about leadership, and you always focus on the leader. You go to an organization, if I go someplace, I'm getting bad service, I ask for the manager. You go someplace, anybody asks me what church I go to, I tell them, well, who's the pastor? Anybody asks me where I work, well, who's the principal? So that's why men get the focus, because men are the leaders. And that's why it's important. Of course, women, we are expected to follow and whatever, but it rises and falls on leadership. Men, yes, women are expected to follow. But if I am the parent, usually when I go to school to a parent conference, they're blaming me for the actions of my children.
Ooh, so you're comparing
you understand?
No.
I'm saying, no, the man leads his home.
Right.
Now, how he leads affects everyone in the home.
Correct.
To a certain extent. Now, it's a little different dynamics because you're talking about two adults.
Adults, correct.
Right? So it's a little different. But I am saying the man needs, men, they need to understand how important their role is.
Yes.
And it's not about shouting. It's not about, as a matter of fact, the most powerful people are the people with a calmer spirit. You don't have to prove who you are by how loud you are. That doesn't make you more powerful. That doesn't make you stronger. It's a matter of learning your environment, who you have in your environment.
That's it right there.
And lead in that environment.
Cheryl, my sheep hear my voice and they listen. And no other shepherd they can follow. So he have to know his flock, and the flock have to know him. So if I have a soft female, then I speak softly. But if I got somebody who come from someplace like me, rough and tough, I can't go there soft. That's not a cookie. There's not a cookie cutter leadership.
There's not a
listen.
Grievous words stir up anger.
I say I'm not talking about shouting and being
right.
angry now.
You
I'm
have
talking
to be
demeanor.
assertive.
I mean demeanor now. Some people like that. Well, okay, baby, how you doing? Man, this. And some, man, come on, man, Cheryl, you gotta do this. And they need that strength. They need that, So no, it's no one cookie cutter leadership. No. And also, I'll use the analogy of a business rather than the parent and child, because a company has adults. Now, if something's going wrong at the company, first of all, you can go to the head, right? And you can be like, the boss and be like, boss, something going wrong. So now the boss has to evaluate and see where the problem is. And he has to make the tough choices and tough decisions that, hey, I got to cut somebody. I got to fire some people. I got to reprimand people now. So leaders come in all shapes and sizes too. You talk about effective leaders. So if there's a falling away, I got to know how to make the tough decisions now. What I can do? Do I go soft or do I, but you have to know. You got to know your organization and which one to apply. So you can't just come and, be soft now because you want soft man so you can run over him. No!
I never said be soft. I never said be soft. There's a big difference.
It depends, Cheryl.
I'll get you out of the show.
Yeah,
There's a big difference between being soft and having a calm demeanor. There's a big difference, and that's what I'm talking about.
Some women don't move until I heard a woman. True story.
Oh, this is about women now. I thought we were talking about divorce. Can we get back
See,
to
you're so
on topic?
defensive, ready to listen for wisdom.
defensive.
So listen, you're hanging on one word rather than listening to the whole story, right? This is what she said. Oh yeah, I do this and I do that, but I know how far to go. See, yeah, I can push it until I get to that far. Why? Why she can push to get to that far so he could get out of character? Why? Why she have to go that far?
Because she's immature.
You think so?
That's why, yes.
That might be that love language. That might just be the way they operate. See, I ain't gonna never put
Why
everybody
would you-
in one same block.
Right.
That might be what does it for them.
That's
the little
game.
juice, the little fire to keep the romance going, you know.
Okay.
But so it's not no one thing. Some people need different things, but it's up to that man, being the leader, to recognize what motivates his wife, and he should move in that vein. As the same well as the wife, she should know what encourages him and supports him.
Right.
And move
I
in
agree.
that vein.
I
It ain't
agree.
all about her. It ain't all about him. And that leads me into this point here. One of the reasons why marriages fail is because the selfishness.
Of course. Me
As a husband, I only looking for my needs done.
Right.
Come cook for me, clean for me, have my clothes washed, you know? And I come home, you have yourself ready for me. I only
Yeah.
looking for my needs.
Right.
That time she stressed out, she had a bad day
Exactly.
on the job, her head hurting, but I only looking out for me. Her, she only wants
Yes.
buy this. He ain't spoil me, he ain't take me out this way, nothing, he ain't buy me no perfume. He ain't, my hair and stuff gotta get do. She ain't care if the man just get juck up on the job.
Right.
You know, she only looking to get herself satisfied.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to put their
Other
spouse
person's-
first.
yes.
And I can tell it, I can say this right now. And this is a message. If you aren't in a position or in a mind frame of putting the other person first, don't get married.
I agree.
Do not get married. If you're not willing to put your partner's needs above yours, to prioritize your partner even above your children, stay single. Now, for the people who are married, if you want your marriage to succeed, if you want to revitalize it, start putting your spouse first. Find out what your spouse needs and see how best you can meet that need.
And both persons have to be doing it.
Yes.
Both persons
Yes.
have to be doing it, and with the same energy. And I know sometimes you may not have the same amount of energy, and that needs to be communicated, because you need to know, yes, when your partner is not operating at the same level of energy as you are, based
Right.
on maybe how their day is, maybe based
Right.
on what they're going through. And that's why constant communication is very important in a relationship. But if you are not committed,
That's
committed, then don't get married.
Right.
Simply, if you're not
What
committed.
is commitment, Cheryl? This is a wrap up now. What is
Okay,
commitment?
commitment is being willing, regardless of how you feel. It's knowing that I am going to do this. I'm going to stick with this regardless, in spite of, no matter what. And these are words that should be a part of your conversation. And these are things that people need to talk about. If I'm getting married, then divorce is not an option.
Not an option.
It's not going to be an option. It's not a fail safe, or it's not something you keep in your back pocket just in case it doesn't work out. We have to take it very seriously, as this is still death.
Yes.
You know, and like you said, we have to be selfless. Selfless.
Definitely.
And it doesn't matter what the world is saying around you, because the world is very loud.
Yes.
And people, you know, we live a life where we compare ourselves to others a lot. We compare our relationships to others. We compare our house, our car, our everything to others so much that it's hard to live in isolation in your own reality. And so we have to make sure that we're constant in our own reality and not be comparing with others. But divorce takes two. Marriage takes two. Divorce
Yes.
takes two.
Yes.
And sometimes just because someone wants a divorce, it doesn't mean that it has to happen.
Correct.
We have to make sure that our marriages are healthy by seeking help before it gets to that destructive point.
Most definitely. I like I said, I think we're going to pick up on this next week again, because I have so many other points that I wanted to mention. Like there was abuse, unfaithfulness, unforgiveness, then social media also influencing
Yes.
our marriages, and then in-laws or friends and family interfering. And then we haven't gotten around to even the solutions, what we may want to offer as to how to prevent or even maybe save one or two marriages out there. So we're going to pick this conversation up again next week, Lord's willing. But like Cheryl said, I just want to echo that. Commitment. That has to be the order of the day. We have to be committed. We have to not view divorce as an option. You know, we have to, and then support marriages. Support it. Stop being that devil's voice in there and encouraging people to even pursue divorce.
Yes.
Let's try to encourage one another to make this commitment that we said we made before God. We made some vows, guys. Let's honor those vows. We forgot those vows. Let's honor them. So this has been Let's Talk. We're going to pick it up again next week. We hope you join us again next week, Lord's willing. Thank you for joining us tonight, guys.